The next XRP bull run, so it begins. Now, we're already in the middle of a broader bull run for XRP. Everybody wants to know, when's that next leg higher coming? We're going to deliver you guys the update on it here in this update, but I want to be clear that we could see a drawdown or pullback based off of the events in the Middle East, and that would be our final, cleanup, this final shakeout completing. Maybe one more look at $2 XRP. It's not going to last long. And even if we do dip below $2, we're going to show you from the chart perspective, it does not negate the fact that the XRP bullish structure is still intact. The pathway to a new all-time high is here. And I have a clip to share with you guys about the massive amount of inflows that we're going to see into XRP, in which, my opinion, it takes us to double digits and beyond. So stick around for this full update. We're going to break it down and run through it pretty quick for you guys this morning. I appreciate you for stopping by. And a reminder that we will be back live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. We do it every Tuesday, Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern live. See you then. Let's get it started here, taking a look at the current events. Trump's nuclear attack doomsday plane arrives at Joint Base Andrews in D.C. The E-4B Night Watch's most notable deployment to D.C. was on September 11, 2001. Just another data point. We're seeing a lot of conflicting statements from both sides. Tough to get good information out of the Middle East right now. But while President Trump, signals, hey, Iran can come on into the White House. Let's negotiate here, right? This posturing of peace. Meanwhile, we are absolutely positioning our assets and resources. If there is going to be another escalation in this conflict, we are absolutely positioned for it, and that is what would see the big drawdown for XRP. I've been saying, unless some big things break out, we're not going to see XRP dip below $2, but we easily could, see that breakdown if these events do escalate, the Strait of Hormuz gets shut down. So we'll continue to pray for peace while we position our portfolios. More on this. Here we go. We got a 16 billion passwords which have been apparently hacked, the largest data breach ever confirmed from Apple, Facebook, and Google. And I don't even understand how this is possible. They keep all the passwords at the same data center, at the same place. They're using the same third party for password protection. How does this even happen? Apple, Facebook, and Google, 16 billion passwords leaked. So if you use Apple, Facebook, or Google, you probably were included in this. And I wanted to share this one. It's always good every so often to go through and check your security. Remember, never share your seed phrase. Never use any passwords that you would be using for Apple, Facebook, or Google with your crypto platforms, right? Make sure that you have separate passwords. I know this is kind of stating the obvious for most, but just use this as a reminder that now's a good time to check over our security before we continue this bull run. It's going to be very critical, and everybody's going to be coming out of the woodworks to take your XRP. Mark my words on that. I mean, we've already seen it. It's already picked up. Trump on Fed Chair Powell. He says, too late, Jerome Powell is costing our country hundreds of billions of dollars. He is truly one of the dumbest and most destructive people in government, and the Fed board is complicit. Well, that's the problem, right? Is they're not even part of our government. And I think that Trump is showing so much disrespect to Fed Chair Jerome Powell and the institution that is the Fed, because he knows that it's not constitutional. He knows it's a group of private banking cartel members that hijacked our country's monetary policy back in 1913 on Jekyll Island. President Trump knows this, which is why he can call our Fed chair stupid, one of the most dumbest and destructive people in government. He knows what he's saying. But he says that Europe has had 10 cuts, we have had none. In fact, Switzerland just took their rates down to 0% interest rates in Switzerland just today. We should be 2.5 points lower and save billions on all of Biden's short-term debt. And that's the nearly $7 trillion of short-term debt that I've been telling you guys about. Secretary Janet No-Tellin Yellen, she dumped this one on our desk right as we arrive with our new administration and new Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Well, okay, what's the situation at hand, guys? Oh, well, your predecessor left you with $7 trillion of short-term debt that has to be rolled over. And then you got Fed Chair Jerome Powell working against you as well, too. You can't refinance this cheaper because Fed Chair Jerome Powell is holding the rates higher. Now, obviously, he's backed into a corner because if he cuts rates, that doesn't help us either. And so what are we doing? We're getting away from the dollar as fast as possible, right? Hedging with defensive measures like silver, which is busted up to $37 per ounce. Well, and it's crazy. I was just thinking about this yesterday. The defensive side of our portfolio, silver in gold is outperforming what Wall Street has on the offensive side of their portfolio. Now think about that for a second. Wall Street, to go on offense, is trying to make 5-10% on their stocks. Meanwhile, our gold and silver on our defensive side of our portfolio is outperforming Wall Street's offensive measures. Now on the offensive side of our portfolio, well, you know, we're just knocking dingers straight out of the park. 400% on Zebek, upwards of 900% on that full swing. Joey, I just did another 300%. I mean, XRP, we did 600% full swing, still up 300% since the election, destroying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and every other major crypto since the election. So not only are we destroying the rest of the cryptocurrency space, we're destroying Wall Street as well, too. We're destroying them with the defensive side of our portfolio and our offensive side. That's why we get you tapped in right here. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell if you really want to win. We have low inflation, too late, and American disgrace. So President Trump applying more pressure to Jerome Powell. Yesterday, the decision was made to pause rates once again. No cut, no raising of rates. We're just leaving them right where they're at. And meanwhile, there's a serious problem here back home with over $7 trillion of debt that has to be refinanced. That's what President Trump's getting at. We'll continue to watch it. Another statement from President Trump on the Genius Act. He says the Senate just passed an incredible bill that is going to make America the undisputed leader in digital assets. Nobody will do it better. It is pure genius. Digital assets are the future, and our nation is going to own it. Let's clarify for everybody in the room, including the Bitcoin maxis. He is not saying that Bitcoin is the future. He is saying that digital assets are the future, not Bitcoin. We can't let Bitcoin Magazine, they like to take these statements and say, President Trump just said Bitcoin is the future. No, he didn't. Digital assets are the future. Oh, this state just passed the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill. No, they didn't. They passed the Strategic Digital Asset Reserve Bill. Let's fact check these Bitcoin maxis real quick. Digital assets are the future, and our nation is going to own it. We are talking about massive investment and big innovation. The House will hopefully move lightning fast and pass a clean Genius Act. Get it to my desk ASAP. No delays, no add-ons. This is American brilliance at its best, and we are going to show the world how to win with digital assets like never before. So much winning, you're going to get tired of winning. Here we go. And we have a scoop here from Eleanor Terrett saying that basically Trump's message has sparked a flurry of calls from industry stakeholders to the Hill with questions about what his directive could mean for the passage of market structure legislation, which the House is considering moving alongside the stablecoin legislation in a bid to get both across the finish line by Trump's own August deadline. So Trump is saying, don't add on to this. Don't mess around with this. It's clean. It's simple. Get it to my desk now. And then we do market structure separate. The House is debating on whether or not they want to include market structure with the stablecoin bill. That could cause some hiccups and some hurdles that we got to get across. That could actually stall this out till later this year if they choose that approach. So I'm hoping that the House doesn't go forward with that. I'm hoping that we can pass this stablecoin legislation here first and then get in our market structure bill. Because I worry if you combine the two, then it has to get passed in the House, then it has to go back to the Senate. And you already know that they're getting ready to take off for recess in August. I mean, they only work less than half the time anyways, but they're getting ready to go on summer vacation here soon. And so if we don't get this stablecoin legislation passed here, this could be pushed out once again. We don't want to see that. But listen here closely. Eleanor Terrett says, and so it begins was one House member's reaction. Now, this had the XRP community riddlers going crazy last night when they saw this one, because we've received a few messages that say, so it begins, right? And so take that for what it's worth. Whether or not you want to laugh at the riddlers or believe in the riddles, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't give riddle advice. I don't give financial advice. I leave that up to you guys. But that's why I titled this update here, The Next XRP Bull Run, So It Begins, because we're right here. This is it. We have a decisive week that we're in the middle of. The ETFs were delayed. We're waiting for Judge Torres to give us the decision on whether or not that settlement agreement, that could even come through tomorrow. Today or tomorrow, we could get the decision from Judge Torres. So this is it right here, right now. Okay? Couple data points that I want to share, and then we'll get into the charts. Dom from Easy A. Just had lunch with some of the biggest institutional investors here in Hong Kong. Think JP Morgan, BlackRock, etc. They see American-made crypto leading the way and will be deploying record amounts of new capital into the US crypto market. They're amazed at how fast the US is moving on crypto legislation, etc., and see it as a clear leader over the coming years. What's the number one US-based crypto? You guys already know. How much in inflows are we going to see? Well, I'm still so thankful to Brad Kimes for putting on XRP Las Vegas and giving me the opportunity to ask the CEO and founder of 2Cream, who brought the first XRP futures ETF live in the United States April 6th, what he thought about JP Morgan's prediction of 4 to 8 billion of inflows into the XRP ETFs. Here was his response. And a huge shout out to DAI for clipping this one up. The full interview is available on Brad Kimes' Digital Perspectives channel. So I'll see if I can link that up down below for you guys. But listen to what Sal Gabberti had to say about the prediction from JP Morgan of 8 billion in inflows.
We heard from JP Morgan. They predicted 4 to 8 billion of inflows into the spot ETFs year one. Is this conservative? Is it too much? What do you think about that prediction?
I'll go with 8 or higher.
Yeah,
a
little low.
I think they're a little low on XRP. I think they underestimate the XRP community. I think they underestimate Ripple. The Ripple's Borgness, okay, I'll call it, where these guys are coming. They're building out every day. They're working as we're sitting here speaking. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
We heard from JP.
So we just had somebody from Wall Street tell us that JP Morgan is underestimating the XRP community in Ripple. Now, if that didn't get you excited enough, I'm going to pull up this other clip that I saw DAI put out here this morning. This is a big one, and you're going to hear me. Sal, he talked about the different models for XRP price. And so I want you guys to take a listen in on this clip where he's talking about the Robbie Mitchnick, Susan Athey model with XRP price predictions. Take a listen.
Robbie Mitchnick model.
Mitchnick model. Mm-hmm. That says $4,300 XRP. So that's pretty happy.
Whoa, Sal.
You hear me? I said, whoa, Sal. Whoa. You're going to have them going crazy. They're going to be clipping it up and throwing this one all over Twitter.
Any good businessman cuts it in half again, and then maybe thinks about it. And there are a lot of assumptions in that model. There are other models that say $5. So, take your pick in between. I think it'll take time. I think the industry still needs to mature. The XRP overhang, which is substantial, needs to be utilized, and that's going to take a while for the real price explosion that people expect.
Rob.
See, and I'm just sharing this clip to show and demonstrate that these guys from Wall Street are open, like especially Sal. He's very open-minded, and they're trying to understand XRP more. They're trying to get as much content and marketing material from Ripple as possible. They're trying to go through these different models to really value XRP. But the summary, in conclusion, is that basically XRP and Ripple are being underestimated by Wall Street and the masses as a whole. Right? That's the key takeaway, right? Is that we are being underestimated, and the breakout is coming here shortly. So full interview, I'll link it up down below. It's on Brad Kimes' channel, Digital Perspectives. I'll share the link for that full interview that I did with Sal, linked up down below in the description, okay? Now, Crypto Michael says, I have predicted every major move this cycle, from 15K Bitcoin bottom, 30, yep, got it. The XRP 7-year pennant breakout, the Pepe 20X breakout, and now the 8-year line all-time high breakout will be next. Doubt me at your own risk. So Crypto Michael, another technical analysis sharing here that the 8-year line breakout to all-time high is here. Now, we got to be very clear, though. We could still see downside action based off of the Middle East conflict, and that could escalate at any time now. If that does happen, that's what it would be. It'd have to be something drastic to get us back below $2, but it is not going to stop us from reversing into a V bottom and the next leg up in this XRP bull run continuing. Or maybe it already did begin, as I titled the episode, So It Begins. Cassie Trade says the market is officially out of time. And she shared this post yesterday. After months of tightening, the XRP consolidation has finally reached its apex and something big is coming next. There are only two paths from here. Guess what? Both lead to an XRP all-time high. That's the beautiful part. Either the explosive breakout we've been waiting for begins now, or we see one final sharp drop to support that ignites the breakout we've all been preparing for. Either way, we're going a lot higher. Price continues to struggle with the 225 level, a level I've talked about continuously. As long as this remains resistance, it increases the likelihood that we'll sweep the lower levels at 201, $1.90, even $1.55. Boy, would that shake out a lot of people. These aren't bearish targets. Let me repeat. These aren't bearish targets. They're momentum zones, areas where the market grabs the liquidity it needs to build momentum for wave 3. Lock in, folks. What makes this moment even more critical is the timing. It's midweek, Wednesday. This is when sentiment tends to flip. We've seen it before many times at the end of consolidation, a sharp fake out that recovers by the macro close, leaving most people behind. Combine that with rising global tension. This is not just technicals lining up, it's the whole picture aligning. Sentiment, structure, timing, even global headlines. Zoom out to the daily and you'll see it clearly. The RSI has built a clear pattern, acting as a guide for the end of this squeeze. Do not miss what comes next. If you have capital, if you have liquidity, take advantage of it if it comes, because either way, this thing's going higher. Whether or not we sweep all the way down to $1.55, and boy, would that just wreck so many people emotionally. It obviously would wipe out a bunch of leverage, but so many people wouldn't be able to stomach that one. I can tell you right now, I would be buying the heck out of that dip. Just deploying everything. I'm deploying everything if we go back down there. Not just on XRP, but on other digital assets as well. Full disclosure, I currently have a buy order for an XRP long sitting at 203. I have more liquidity on the sidelines waiting for that move even lower. So I got my order placed. I'm ready for it. 203 is where I'm going to make my entry. And we go below $2. I'm throwing everything I got because I know what comes after this. This is the next leg up for XRP. Whether or not we sweep down below $2, flip a coin. You know, whether or not the tensions and the escalations in the Middle East come, flip a coin. Flip a coin and send out a prayer. Pray for peace. Position your portfolio. We are going to an all-time high for XRP. Sal Gilberti, along with many of us out here seeing the prediction of 8 billion of inflows, that's just the start. We're talking about XRP to $10 and beyond based off of said inflows. So take advantage of the opportunity to scoop up XRP or any of these assets if that moment does come. It will not last, and this bull run and the next leg up is right around the corner. So take advantage of it. I'll be back here live at 10 p.m. for more discussion. If you guys have comments and questions, we'll be doing some Q&A. Full breakdown at tonight's live show, 10 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you guys there. All of our community resources are available at zachrector.com, and I appreciate your support so much. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.